Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're doing my top Nintendo Switch video again that I know all you guys love because I do them every year, but this list is a little different than the last ones I've been doing. So all the last ones I've been doing, and I'll have them all linked down below if you guys want to see them because there's a lot of good games on there that obviously are not on this list. All the other games that I've made, or lists that I've made, have always been the top 25 Nintendo Switch local multiplayer games for that year. So I've done a 2019, 2018, 2020, and 2021, and all that kind of stuff. And I'll have a 2022 one at the end of the year if you guys subscribe and don't want to miss that video. But this video in particular is taking all of those lists together and all the games that are released for the Switch so far and doing my top 25 Nintendo Switch local multiplayer overall across all years. So that's what this list is about. I hope you guys enjoy this list, and let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming tech is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
So the first one coming in on this list at number 25 is Night Squad 2. So Night Squad 2 has been around for a while, and I really like this game. It is a great local multiplayer game. And I really like the graphics style on here. I like that it can play up to 8 players. I like that there is a ridiculous amount of game modes in this game. There's like a Battle Royale mode, there's Capture the Grail, there's Push the Payload, there's straight up deathmatch and team deathmatch. And it's just a ton of fun with friends. The weapons are crazy in there. There's a lot of variety in the actual maps that you play in. The variety in this game was really sets it apart, and it's definitely king in that, with all the different weapons and that you can have and all the different maps and all that variety that's in the game. There's just a lot to enjoy here, so it's definitely one I recommend for you guys to check out if you're into local multiplayer games and game modes like this. It is Night Squad 2, coming in at number 25. The next one on this list, coming in at number 24, is a new game on this list, and I'm having a ton of fun with it, and it is Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl. Now, yes, this game did start off really rocky because it had no voice acting, which I talked about in my review when I reviewed it on this channel, and that wasn't great. But they have actually added a free update where it now does have voice acting, and they're still supporting the game with new characters and stuff. We just got one a couple of days ago, and there's Rocco coming in the future here, and a couple of others. So I hope that they keep supporting this game, and I hope that we continue to get more content in this game because the core gameplay here is fantastic and fun, especially if you're a Nickelodeon fan. Of course, I'm a huge 90s fan and a huge Nickelodeon fan, so this kind of fits right up my alley on exactly what I want, and it's so much fun. It's obviously a brawler like Super Smash Bros., but Nickelodeon characters that you can see them all on the screen, and it's fantastic fun. So definitely one I recommend you guys check out if you're into, a 4-player free-for-all, like battle to the death kind of brawlers, which I know a lot of us are, and if you're into Nickelodeon, check this one out. Coming in at number 24, Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl. The next one on this list has been around for a while, but it actually got ported over to the Switch, and that is Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Now, this one makes the list because even though it was a port, this is my favorite 3D Mario game that I've played in a long time. I love how unique all the levels are and how much fun you can have with 4 players playing this game and all that kind of stuff. And then they added the Bowser's Fury into this, and it was just a pretty substantial amount of content, and it's actually really good content too. It's different from all the other levels. It's very unique and added even more content to this game. But playing this game with 4 players and the variety of the level design, and you never know what you're going to hit up next. And that was true for this game when it came out, and it's still true here. And like I said, it's my favorite 3D Mario game that's been released in a long time. And it's just a lot of fun with 4 players. So this is another one that you guys definitely need to check out. Coming in at number 23, Super Mario 3D World Bowser's Fury. The next one here, coming in at number 22, is Nintendo Switch Sports. So this is another one that came out this year on the Nintendo Switch. And yes, it is more of the same when it comes to Wii Sports and stuff like that, but brought into the HD area of obviously the Nintendo Switch, and also being able to play all of these games online as well, which is a feature that was added. But local multiplayer here is still fantastic fun, and it's obviously you got your bowling game on here, you got your tennis game, and all the ones that we remember. Golf is coming on soon later this year. They have the soccer game on here as well, and the dueling game, which is really, really fun to play against each other. And the volleyball is on here as well. And it's just a really fun package. And yes, it is like the Wii version, but obviously HDified for the Nintendo Switch with better controls and better graphics and stuff like that. But it's just as fun as you remember playing those with 4 players locally when it comes to tennis or bowling. It brings back all the memories of the Wii. And it's a really good port into the Nintendo Switch, and hopefully they keep adding more content to this one. Not just the golf that's coming on later. Maybe we'll get a few other sports coming on down the line. So definitely check this one out as well. Coming in at number 22, Nintendo Switch Sports. The next one on this list, coming in at number 21, is definitely a game I do not need to introduce because we've all been playing this for so long, and that is Rocket League. Rocket League is a game that I play almost every single day. I go on my PC and play a couple matches on Steam because it's that addicting. And on the Nintendo Switch, it's great as well. I played it there a ton. And obviously still gets a lot of updates, a lot of game modes. Obviously flying cars and trying to score goals on your opponent is so much fun. And the fact that we have it on the Switch and you can play local wireless or local multiplayer where you can play with 4 of your friends, 2v2 and stuff like that is a ton of fun, really addicting and a lot of fun. It's really easy, but it's a really easy game to play, but really hard to master, which is where the flying and all that stuff comes in. I'm still trying to master it. I've been playing it for years at this point. So that tells you how hard this game is. But it's a ton of fun to play with your friends, guys. Obviously, a lot of different maps, a lot of unique things, a lot of customization, all that stuff. So check it out. The next one on this list, coming in at number 20, is No Time to Relax. So this is a game that I'm sure many of you guys have not heard of, but really hit my radar when I first played it. And if you think about this game, it's kind of like the game of life brought into a digital age like this. You can play 4 players locally with your friends, and you're basically trying to have the most amount of money and fulfill your destiny by the end of the game. And you go around and you try to have the happiest life you can. There's decorations that you can decorate your house with. You can go shopping. You have a job to do. You have to do different activities to keep your player happy. You can own pets and have kids and all that kind of stuff, and basically try to make another week. And then you can play these different and then these action cards get played on you that obviously come out of nowhere, whether a crime happens or whatever, you got robbed, all these different things that you're dealing with and playing with your friends and trying to keep everything balanced with your happiness and your money and all that stuff and trying to have a happy life. There's no time to relax in this game, just like the title says, but it is a ton of fun to play with 4 players if you're into simulation games and game of life and stuff like that. Check it out, coming in at number 20, No Time to Relax. The next one here, coming in at number 19, is Crawl. Crawl is a really unique game that's been around for a while. Basically, everyone starts in the game and everyone gets to pick their weapons and be a hero. And one person is basically going through the dungeon, killing monsters to try and level themselves up to get to level 10 and be the main person who wins. However, everyone else is controlling the monsters that are obviously trying to kill that person. And whoever kills that person then becomes the main person trying to level up. And you basically do that over and over again, killing monsters, trying to kill that person being the monster, and try to be the first person to reach level 10 in the dungeon. And everything is obviously randomized. There's a lot of uniqueness to this game. There's not a game like this that is really comparable, and it really stands out amongst the crowd for a local multiplayer game like this, where you can actually control what's happening in the dungeon, control the monsters, control what's actually happening to the player there, so you can be in control and level yourself up and then go through the dungeon. It's really, really fun, really unique. Crawl, coming in at number 19. The next one here, coming in at number 18, is Move or Die Unleashed. Now, this game is so much fun, and like the title of the game says, you either move or you die. This game throws you a bunch of different minigames. There's like over 50 minigames in the game. And basically, you're trying to survive the minigame, but if you stop moving in the game, you eventually die. So you have to keep moving. You have to keep collecting these things, trying to kill each other, be the last one standing, all these different minigames that you're playing. But what really sets this game apart is the philosophy that you can't stop moving. So where other games, you can kind of hide out in a corner and try to, play these games with your opponent to try and kill them and use these different weapons. On this one, you can't do that. You have to move or you're going to die. And there's a bunch of different modifiers in the game, a bunch of different customization, a bunch of different maps. Like I said, over 50 different modes that you can play in the game with how much this game has gotten in content over the years. It is so much fun to play. Definitely check this one out. Move or Die, coming in at number 18. The next one here, coming in at number 17, is a game that still doesn't get a lot of love that I really, really like on the Switch, and that is ARMS. ARMS was a really unique fighter that came out in the beginning of the Nintendo Switch, and I still think it's a fantastic part of game. with the amount of modes that you can play in this game between volleyball, just duking each other out and customizing your character, doing different things, being able to use motion controls if you want to, or a controller, a bunch of different variety of levels that you can play in or stages that you can play in. And there's a basketball game that you can play in that you're playing against each other. There's a lot of variety in this game. And again, a game that there's nothing like this on the Switch. I don't know why this game didn't gain more popularity, to be honest, because I think it's a really, really fun fighter that was really easy to play but hard to master, and I still go on there and sometimes play this game myself. But the fact that you can play this game locally with other players is fantastic, and it's so much fun. And definitely one that I have in rotation here when someone wants to play something unique, because like I said, there's nothing like this game on any other console. So ARMS coming in at number 17. The next one here coming in at number 16 is Diablo 3 Eternal Collection. So Diablo 3, of course, has been around for a really, really long time at this point, and we all know what to expect. It is a dungeon crawler that you can play with 4 players. That's infinite amount of gameplay with how many levels you can go to and leveling up your character and customizing it and doing the seasons and all that stuff. And playing 4-player locally is a ton of fun if you're into dungeon crawlers like this. And the game obviously has gotten a ton of content over the years. And it's obviously the gold standard when it comes to a dungeon crawler type game like this, action RPG. Really, really fun to level up. Really, really fun to play with your friends locally. And definitely one I recommend to check out. The Diablo Eternal Collection coming in at number 16. And the next one here coming in at number 15 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, a newcomer on this list, the newest game on this list, I believe. And this game, we all are fans of beat 'em ups, and the fact that you can play this 6 players on your Nintendo Switch locally is fantastic and so much fun. They did a fantastic job bringing a 2D side scroller like this into the modern era. It has everything that a Ninja Turtles fans wanted from the arcade version brought into the modern era. All the characters here that we wanted are here. The graphics are fantastic. It has a story mode. It has arcade mode. A lot of nods to the old arcade game and the series and stuff like that. So this is a fantastic game. If you're into side-scrolling beat-em-ups like this and you want to play with up to 6 of your friends local multiplayer, this is a fantastic game to play. They did a fantastic job, and I'm still playing this one all the time because it's just that good. So check this one out, guys. Coming in at number 15, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. The next one here coming in at number 14 is Mario Golf Super Rush. So I know a lot of you guys, some of you guys out there didn't really like this game because it was short on content and stuff, and it was, but they did add some stuff to the game over time for free as free DLC. But more importantly, we're talking on this list as local multiplayer, and this game still shines in local multiplayer, even if the game was a little bit bare bones for online gameplay and stuff. But the game still shines for local multiplayer, for golf fans like this, being able to play a Mario-type game in the golf universe that we all know and love from back in the other systems. This one has a ton of variety with the different ways that you play. Super Rush obviously lets you use items and stuff as you run around, try to get to the other hole and hit it into the hole faster than your opponent, so there's definitely some variety there. There's that Battle Royale mode that they kind of added where you're trying to make it into the holes before everyone else, which is also really fun. And then, of course, the regular golf game as well. You can obviously use different controllers. You can play with just your regular motion controls, or you can play with a regular controller as well. If you're a Mario Golf fan and you're looking for a local multiplayer game, I definitely recommend this game. It's really, really fun to play with your friends, and they did a good job with this game, even if it left us wanting more from the originals as far as story mode and stuff like that. But since this is a local multiplayer list, then it still makes this list because it's still a ton of fun local multiplayer. So check this one out, guys. Mario Golf Superstar coming in at number 14. The next one here coming out at number 13 is basically the same exact case. It is Mario Tennis Aces, and I can kind of say the same thing about this one as I said about the last one. Mario Tennis is fantastic fun to play. The core gameplay is the best it's ever been in the series, but it was short on content. They did add some more stuff as far as new characters and new stages to play on and stuff like that, so it is better. But a lot of people complained when it first came out, but again, it shines local multiplayer here, and with the new added stages that they added and the new characters and stuff that they added as free DLC, it is now definitely a great package to play local multiplayer, and the gameplay itself is the best the series has ever been. So check out Mario Tennis coming in at number 13. Coming in at number 12 is another Mario sports game, and this one's just came out as well, and this is Mario Strikers Battle League. Now, unfortunately, or fortunately, this game could have been higher on this list, but unfortunately, this is another game, just like the other ones, that was lacking in content, and it's missing, for local multiplayer purposes, it is missing what I really liked about this series, which is the actual fields that you play on having unique elements, like, you know, having a volcano explode all over and actually causing havoc or all that kind of stuff. Like, it's missing that, and hopefully that's something they add as free DLC, because this game is also getting free DLC. But as of right now, the stages are just different in look, but don't actually offer any variety in the way that the gameplay actually changes. But the actual gameplay in this one, again, is just as good as the series has ever been. The graphics are great. The changes that they made to the gameplay are fantastic, and it is as much fun to play as ever, which is exactly why it's on this list and can only climb higher if they do well with the DLC. So this one, if you guys are fans of Mario Strikers that we've all been waiting for years, the core gameplay and the graphics are fantastic, and it's a ton of fun to play. Nintendo, please make some more DLC that actually adds what we want. Mario Strikers Battle League coming in at number 12. The next one on this list, coming in at number 11, is Cruisin' Blast. Cruisin' Blast is a game that we all know from the arcades, made by Raw Thrills. Had no idea that they would actually make a game from the arcades and actually port it over to the Switch, but they definitely did. And this is my favorite arcade racer that's been made in a really long time. This game is fantastic. It plays just like the arcade version and is so much fun to play. Yes, it was a little bit expensive when it first came out, but the price has dropped now. And it's great to play in 4-player local multiplayer that we're talking about on this list with your friends. It's really frantic, really fun, really easy to play, even if you're not the greatest racer. Like, my wife plays this game with me, and even though she's not the greatest racer, she could still manage it because it's an arcade racer, and it's really easy to kind of just stay on track and just have fun with it. So again, if you're into this arcade racing and you want a game like that for your Nintendo Switch to play with 4 players, this is definitely the game to check out. They did a fantastic job putting it over from the arcade. The only thing people complained about with this game is that even though the tracks that they have in this game, that there's actually a lot, they're obviously remixed from each other, so like the tracks are the same, but they may change the look and stuff like that, so they're really remixed. They're not completely brand new tracks for all of them, which was really the only complaint. But now with the price being lower and the art style and how good the gameplay is, it doesn't matter. Pick this game up and definitely check it out. One of my favorite arcade racers of all time at this point. Cruisin' Blast coming in at number 11. The next one here coming in at number 10 is Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3. Another one of these that you're basically leveling up your characters kind of like Diablo, but in the Marvel universe where it's an action RPG. This is a sequel that I never thought we would get, and it's a sequel that's only on the Nintendo Switch. I love the Marvel Alliance Ultimate Alliance series that was on the original Xbox and PlayStation 2 and stuff, and Nintendo Switch has brought this over to us with a bunch of characters, a bunch of gameplay, and a great fun amount of local multiplayer. There's even some mini games that you can play in local multiplayer that you're actually doing missions with each other, or you can play the campaign 4 players with each other and doing all these missions, going through the campaign together. It is so much fun. The game is done really, really well. There's a ton of characters, a ton of variety from the Marvel Universe, obviously with their own unique abilities and their own unique powers, and it's just as good as Ultimate Alliance ever was, and probably the best in the series. The only thing that actually holds this back a little bit is just the fact that it's on the Switch, and we would have all loved to see it on another system just for better graphics. But they did exactly what they could with the Switch hardware, and it still looks really good, and it is a ton of fun to play with your Switch with 4 players locally. So check this one out, Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3. So coming in at number 9 here is Boomerang Fu. So this is a game that has been on my local multiplayer list for a long time because it's just keeps climbing because of how much fun the game actually is. You basically have a boomerang that you're holding, and you're basically have all these different stages when you're trying to just eliminate the other player. But the boomerang adds some interesting twists to this game that other games don't do, with the way that a boomerang can obviously be controlled and go and zip around corners and do all these different things. The levels are really creative. Obviously, there's a ton of game modes from Last Man Standing to teams and all that stuff, and the weapons that you can use, but the boomerang definitely sets this one apart because of the uniqueness of how a boomerang really works, and the fact that you can zip around and kind of go from different areas and just have a ton of fun with your friends. This is definitely one to check out. The level design is also fantastic and really fun to play. So if you guys are into local multiplayer games, of course, check this one out. It's been highly regarded by a lot of people, Boomerang Fu. The next one here coming in at number 8 is a game that we all are probably familiar with, and that is Gang Beasts. So Gang Beasts is a game that started off on the PC and then got ported over to the Nintendo Switch. And it is also a 4-player local multiplayer game, and it is so much fun to play, and it's so zany and ridiculous. The controls are hard to get used to, but once you get used to them, it is doable and fun to use, but basically, it's all physics driven. You're trying to grab each other and throw each other off the stages to be the last one standing. It leads to some hilarious moments the way that the stages are built. You're hanging off each other off the side of a Ferris wheel, trying to be the last one not to fall off the stage. You're trying to punch each other using the wacky physics in the game and all that kind of stuff. You're trying to play like soccer mini games using the physics in the game. It's just, there's never a moment in this game where you're not laughing because of the physics that are going on and just what happens in the nature of this game. The game has been around for a while and a lot of people love it, and it makes sense why, which is why it deserves a spot on this list. Gang Beast coming in at number 8. The next one here coming in at number 7 is Overcooked All You Can Eat. So the All You Can Eat edition includes all the content from all the original games into one, as well as more content in this game. And man, have I lost some friends with this game. I am not great at this game, but it is so much fun to play a cooperative cooking game where you're basically all in a kitchen and you're trying to make these meals as fast as possible. Some person's cooking the meat, some person's heating up the meat, some people are cooking the soup, chopping up vegetables, all these different things. But the amount of content in this game now in this edition is ridiculous because of all the levels that have been in all the other games, and all the kitchens have their own unique perks and their own unique things you need to deal with. They start off simple where you're just dealing with the kitchen, but then other times you need to deal with ice that's moving and not falling off the stage, things that are exploding all over the place, dealing with fires around the kitchen, all these different things. You will lose friendships over this game, let me tell you. The yelling in this game that I've had with playing this with local multiplayer with friends is ridiculous. Yelling at each other like, hey, what you doing? You're supposed to cut that meat. Go grab that. Go clean the dishes. Go do this. Go do that. So much fun. A very unique game, obviously, that started the trend of these types of cooperative games and is definitely the best one out there and is fantastic. Definitely check this one out, guys. Overcooked All You Can Eat. Coming in at number 7. The next one here coming in at number 6. Is a game that I really, really like that does not get enough attention. That is Killer Queen Black. A game that was also in the arcades that was 8 players, but now we can actually play 8 players locally at home with our friends. Basically, the premise of the game is you have a queen and some workers, and everyone takes a role. Basically, the queen is trying to kill the other queen 3 times, and that's one way to win. So, other people are soldiers, and you can try to grab these berries and stuff like that, and that is another way to win if you collect a certain amount of berries. Or you can also be the person that is trying to grab the snail and push the snail all the way to the opposing side, and that is another way to win. So there's 3 paths to victory. It is local multiplayer. It is frantic. It is crazy competitive and really, really fun to play. If you guys have never heard of this game and have not played it and you're into games like local multiplayer, definitely check this one out. It's one of my favorites that always ranks and everyone always loves playing, and I'm super glad that they brought this over to the Nintendo Switch. Killer Queen Black. The next one here coming in at number 5 is another one that is always on my list because I love this game so much, and that is Towerfall Ascension. Another one that's been around for years and has gotten a lot of content over the years, but it is really, really competitive. It is an archery game that is basically the last one standing. Everyone grabs a corner on the map, and you're trying to use your arrows and kill each other and be the last one standing. A bunch of different modifiers, a bunch of different gameplay, but this one is ultra competitive, done super, super well, super polished, super competitive, like I said. And the characters that you can use, the modifiers, the different levels that are in the game to change things up that happen in the level, the different weapons that you have and different modifiers to just having a regular bow and arrow are fantastic. The fact that you don't have unlimited and you can't just spam makes it ultra competitive since you're trying to save that last one. It leaves for some crazy ultimate moments in this game. I've been playing this game for years and it's still just as good as day one. Towerfall Ascension coming in at number 5. The next one on this list coming in at number 4 is the Jackbox Party Pack series in general. So there is so much to like about this game. The fact that everyone can just play and whip out a phone. You don't need like 8 different controllers or anything. You can support up to 8 players locally. They have had 7 different games that have come out, all with at least 5 different mini games inside of them. Obviously some better than others, but the whole series is fantastic. The fact that everyone could just have a phone with them, which almost everyone nowadays has one, and you don't need all these different controllers, you could just play, and all the games are really varied. Some of them are mini games, some of them are drawing games, some of them are trivia, all these different games. Some of them are really, really fun, and the game still keeps on going. I hope that this game is a long-running series like it has been so far, because I love to see what creative ideas they come up with next. Definitely one of the best local multiplayer games you can play because everyone can get into it really easily just by taking out their phone, going to the code on the website, and be ready to drop in and drop out. It's really, really fun, guys. Jackbox, the series itself, coming in at number 4. The next one here coming in at number 3 is Mario Party, the series as well. Both of them, Mario Party Superstars and the original as well, because in my opinion, they're both fantastic. Most people lean to Superstars because this is the game that brought back 100 mini games of all the ones that we remember across the series, and 5 boards that we all love from the series as well that we all remember. And they did a fantastic job adding all of that in here and bringing the nostalgic factor in here. And it's great to play this on the Switch again after all of these years. But check out both Mario Party games on the Nintendo Switch. The next one coming in at number 2 is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Of course, this game would be high on the list. This is one of my favorite series ever made by Nintendo because I love racing games, I love kart racing games, and I love when racing games play with their properties, and that's exactly what Nintendo does here, and that's why this game is so successful. Not only is the core gameplay fantastic, and it sticks to the formula here, but on this one, we got all of the different levels that were originally made from Mario Kart 8, that was on the Wii U and then ported over to the Switch. But now we're getting 48 more courses as DLC, either by purchasing it for $24.99 or by just buying the Nintendo Switch premium subscription, the Plus version. And you get 48 new courses released over the next 2 years. They've already released the first 2 packs, and this second pack, they've definitely done it justice in the second pack. In my opinion, they did a great job with the second pack and making it flow better with actually filling within the Mario Kart formula that a lot of people complained about in the first pack. I think this is fantastic that they're bringing back old courses from, the N64, GameCube, and all that stuff, and bringing them to the HD area. And now we're going to have a crazy amount of tracks in this game. It is ridiculous. And then we have the battle balloons race and the battle mode that we all know and love in this game. It's fantastic, guys. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And the number 1 game that I'm sure you guys probably all anticipated, considering that it hasn't been mentioned on this list at all, is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Again, love the fact that Nintendo has all of these different characters that we all know and love from all these different franchises that you can battle it out, and they all have their unique abilities that kind of perform like you would expect their characters to actually be. And this being the Ultimate Edition, we got the same treatment that Mario Kart is getting. We got all the characters here. We got almost 100 or over 100, I think, of different stages that you can play in from all the different eras that we all remember from this game on Super Smash Bros. Everything is here and everyone is here, as the tagline suggests in this game. And the gameplay is the best it's ever been in the series, and we have everything we could want in this series. This is going to be a game that people play for years and years to come. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the number 1 local multiplayer party game that you can play for a Nintendo fan, for sure. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that list with me, and I hope you guys subscribe to see future lists like this. I do these lists every year because a lot of you guys seem to like them. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I'll be doing a 2022 video where I'll be talking about my top local multiplayer games on the Switch that actually released in 2022. Like I said, different from this video that was taking into account everything on the Switch across all years. So I hope you guys enjoyed this list and you guys got some games you guys have never heard of, maybe on your radar now. And if I missed any of your favorites, be sure to leave those down below if you guys think there was a game that I was missing off this list. And let me know. Maybe I just haven't played it or never heard of it. You never know. But I hope you guys enjoyed the list. If you guys have any questions about what you guys seen in today's video, as always, leave it down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.